So, your business runs on Windows, right? Well, that means there are digital doorways you might not even know exist. And trust me, hackers are checking the locks every single day. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down the most critical threats to your network, see exactly how attackers are getting in, and then lay out a clear plan to shut those doors for good. Let's dive in.
So why all this focus on Windows? Honestly, it just comes down to one single number: 70%. That's how many business computers around the world are running on it. For cybercriminals, that makes Windows more than just a target, it's the target. It's the biggest pond they can possibly fish in.
And heads up, there's a huge date circled on the calendar that everyone needs to be thinking about. On October 14th, 2025, Microsoft is officially pulling the plug on security support for Windows 10. You know what that means? Any new security hole found after that date stays open forever. For attackers, millions of machines are about to become permanent, vulnerable targets basically overnight.
Okay, so what are these digital doorways we're talking about? How are attackers actually getting in? Let's take a look at the most common entry points they use to just waltz right into a network, starting with a classic favorite. All right, first on the list is the Remote Desktop Protocol, or RDP. It's that handy tool that lets you and your employees access work computers from home. Super convenient, right? But if it's not set up correctly, it is literally like leaving a key under the doormat on the public internet. You've got automated bots just scanning 24/7, jiggling the handles on these digital doors.
And this right here, this is a perfect picture of what not to do versus what you should be doing. On the left, you see RDP just open to the whole world. That's a disaster waiting to happen. The right way, the secure way, is to tuck it behind a virtual private network, a VPN. That creates a safe, encrypted tunnel. But you don't stop there. You add multi-factor authentication, or MFA. That way, even if a password gets stolen, the bad guys can't get in without that second code from your phone. The takeaway is simple. Never, ever leave RDP exposed.
Okay, next up, anything you have that's facing the internet. We're talking company websites, collaboration tools, you name it. The tool shell vulnerability in Microsoft SharePoint is a perfect and scary example. I mean, we're talking days after the flaw was announced, attackers were already using it to break into networks that hadn't installed the patch yet. It's a race, and when it comes to patching, speed is absolutely everything. And you know, sometimes the easiest way in isn't to break down a door. It's to trick someone into opening it for you. Phishing emails are an old trick, but they're getting a massive upgrade. This data shows that AI-powered phishing is a whole new ballgame. These emails are 40% more effective because they get rid of the old red flags. No more weird spelling mistakes or awkward grammar. They can sound exactly like your CEO, making them incredibly hard to spot. Okay, so the bad guy's in. But getting a foot in the door is just step one, right? Their real goal isn't to control one laptop. It's to go from that one machine to owning the entire network. Let's look at how they make that critical jump.
So, when you look at the kinds of bugs attackers love to use once they're inside, it's not a random grab bag. Two types just dominate the scene. You've got elevation of privilege and remote code execution. Together, they make up a whopping 68% of all the critical flaws. These aren't just bugs. They're the superhighways attackers use to completely take over.
So what in the world is elevation of privilege? Well, think of it this way. An attacker gets in by stealing a regular employee's key. That key only opens a few doors. An EOP vulnerability is like a secret flaw in the building's security that lets them take that one single key and magically turn it into a master key that unlocks everything, including the main server room.
Then you've got the other big one, remote code execution, or RCE. And honestly, this stuff can be even more terrifying. This code here really hammers home the danger of what we call zero-click exploits. Just imagine a flaw so bad that an attacker can take over your computer just because you previewed a file in an email. You didn't click it, you didn't open it, you didn't download it, just looking at it was enough. And here's the thing, attackers don't just use one of these tricks. They string them together like a chain reaction. This is a classic playbook. Step 1, they get in with a clever phishing email. Step 2, they use one of those elevation of privilege flaws to become the administrator of that first machine. Step 3, they steal passwords from a core Windows process called LSAs. And finally, Step 4, they use those stolen credentials to take over the whole domain. Game over.
And if all that wasn't enough, attackers are getting way stealthier. They're moving to what we call fileless attacks. This means they use legitimate tools already on your computer, like PowerShell, a native Windows tool, to do their dirty work. And because they're using Microsoft's own trusted software, your traditional antivirus, which is just looking for bad files, it often doesn't see a single thing. It's like a ghost in the machine. Okay, I know that was a lot, and it can sound pretty bleak. But here's the good news. Defense is not some dark art. There is a clear, straightforward playbook of things you can do right now to lock down your network and sleep better at night. This is it. This is your core defense checklist. First, get those last Windows 10 machines upgraded, now. Second, patch everything, and patch it fast. Third, put multi-factor authentication on everything. I mean everything. Fourth, use the principle of least privilege. People should only have access to what they absolutely need to do their jobs. Fifth, keep and, more importantly, test offline backups. And finally, get a modern tool like an endpoint detection and response, or EDR solution. It's designed to spot the weird behavior of those fileless attacks.
Look, if you're feeling overwhelmed and can only do one thing from that list, just one, make it this: multi-factor authentication. Microsoft themselves say that MFA blocks over 99% of automated credential-based attacks. It is, without a doubt, the single biggest bang for your buck in security, period.
But listen, all the best tech in the world won't save you if the front door is left wide open by an employee. Your people are on the front lines every single day. Regular, consistent training that shows them what today's attacks actually look like? That's how you turn your biggest potential weakness into your strongest asset, a human firewall.
So here's the bottom line. Security isn't a product you buy off a shelf. It's a process. It's a constant cycle of patching, training, and adapting to what the bad guys are doing now. We've looked at the unlocked doors, the stolen keys, and the stealthy intruders. So the real question to ask yourself is, where do you need to start?